majority of you showed your hands that you were being you got more conservative over the last year or so. Why? And
from a conservative investing point of view, I think we much appreciate the risk which is involved. And a few years ago, I don't know, I was more market oriented. The last few years became much more conservative in my investment. That's because I'm reaching a stage that I need to preserve whatever I have. You know?
Not only that, we don't know where the market's heading. And that's another point in our jobs.
It's like every thing that you have to buy has gone up, and any chance of making money is well, not as relevant as it was a year or two ago, where you could sort of guarantee that you get a pay rise or things like that, or have a job.
But I probably spent 2 months just going through all the services: electricity, gas, the whole shooting box, car insurance, etc., etc.
Insurance.
And thank God I've been able to make a saving on all of them.
Spontaneously, how many people agree with Rob that rising costs are a problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Almost everybody. Okay.
I think China's the most powerful country in the world. And we're looking up to them now, not America. Nothing to do with America. Yes, we've got the strong ties, but hey, their economy's down the gurglers. China's booming still, and we're trading with them. We're making money here.
We are trading with them,
China,
but we don't have the
depend on
same
each other.
morals and ideals as China, and so we're not parallel with China. It's not.
It's a different mindset.
It's not an ongoing relationship, and they are doing well, and they are close to us and manufacturing, but America is still a very powerful force.
But I think that's more symbolic. I think that in practical terms, I agree. China, I think, is having the biggest impact, but in sort of symbolic terms, a lot of the world looks towards America because of historical links to the system, but I think they're two different things.
Yeah, but China's big business manufacturing. And if America is not doing well,
that's right, yeah.
China's going to throw in a heap too. Who are they going to sell to?
Oh, it's show of hands. Who agrees with John? It's not the government's doing. It's that you've got an unprecedented economic climate. Okay. Who would say it's the global?
I'm sorry.
Okay. So most of you would say, well, almost all of you would say it's global events. Why? You're supposed to blame your politicians.
Yeah, but I don't see our government as being in a position to have that much impact. So I'm still trying to think of something.
It's been inherited by what's happened around the world, and as I say, if supposedly good managed companies like America, I'm not saying they are, they allegedly say they are, and they've got the biggest companies possible there, and they find it very, very hard to survive. So it's it's an era we're going through.
Had a wider impact than what happened back in the 80s. When that affected the stock market.
Is she right?
It seems
Do you
bigger
agree with
now.
Yeah.
Sure, it's Europe,
And
but
I think
everywhere.
the concern now, and why we're all nervous and why there's so much trouble, is that there haven't been the kind of structural changes and remedies over the last 2 years to make sure that that won't happen again.
The volatility of the last year or two that's not changed that at all.
It has. Don't tell me your super hasn't gone down.
Not
considerably.
No, not considerably. Not to the extent that would impact on plans for the future. And I'm just jumping on what John said before. We were right at the end of I guess a good time to sell, so we capitalised on that, and then straight into rolling into a good time to purchase real estate too.
I like working, so I'd always want to work for quite a while, but I couldn't afford not to work. You know what I mean? There's no way I could not work now.
Is that how you all feel as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
What about you, Nick?
Oh, I've got certainly no plans to finish up, and I didn't have before share markets and that sort of thing went bad. When I said horrendous, I meant my investments are horrendous, not my life in general. It's still going all right.
I'm looking too far ahead, and like most, most things turn out all right in the end, don't they? Well, I suppose
She'll be right, mate.
couple of years of sort of chaos and volatility, how's it changed your behaviour with as investors now? Purely thinking as have you started stuffing money under the mattress?
Well, I've stopped investing and putting into my business instead.
In the last couple of years, invested in shares within my super fund. I've actually put it into term deposits.
If you pull out of super now, you're going to lose because it's so deflated. But looking at alternative ways of investing any additional money, and term deposits is one. And
Maybe not pulled out, but less likely to put money in.
Okay. Kind of show of hands.
Yes, I agree with
Almost all of you. Can you give me some examples specifically of?
Caution in mind, caution.
Okay. By what?
Just a few. As I said, when things went off the rails about 2 and a bit years ago, I guess I've been less. I've never been a punter anyway. Full stop. I've just been less adventurous, I guess.
We've always had this saying: in times of peace, prepare for war. In times of war, which I believe it is now, prepare for peace. And what that simply means to me is you tend to consolidate a little bit in your thinking, and it's not to say you stop planning, you plan for the future as best you can, but you just be a little bit more conservative in what you're wanting to do.
I sort of don't go out as much, or as not as.
Age.
I like going out.
a lot of people are happy with saving in the bank, and one of the problems with that is that people work, pay taxes, and are frugal enough to save some money, but then they're taxed again on the income from that. And to me, that is discouraging, and it discourages people from saving.
I'd like to see some just firm decisions and just get on with it.
Yeah.
Julia Gillard can't make a decision. She can make a decision, but she can't then make that happen.
Just didn't lead anywhere.
You were following up.
Yeah, exactly. He's just providing just a summary of what's happening, but not putting a strategy.
I'm a swinging voter because I just get fed up all the time because neither of the parties is making a decision.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking, well, hang on, I'll go back onto the other horse because maybe they'll start making decisions.
Is he right? How many people agree with that? The lack of firm decision making.
Yeah,
That's good policy.
Slash negativity.
I need you to raise your hands. I know it's hard. I know it's been a long day. So of the Labour voters, which were 1, 2, 3, 4, how many of you would considering changing your vote now?
I wouldn't change to Abbott, but I might change to Turnbull.
I think he's a clever man, and he's showing leadership at the moment. I know he wasn't interested before, but now he's making Julia run.
You have to pay for it, I have to pay for it, my kids in the future will have to pay for it, but if the other countries in the world don't follow, then we're dummies.
He's talking about this tax because it's controversial, and we don't.
We fear
as a majority, we don't understand it.
No.
If we're talking about income tax or raising stamp duty, there'd be stronger arguments that people could flock to one way or another. But it is, I agree with Hazel, it's a tax that we fear, and just because we're the first, I mean that's not a reason not to do it.
How many of you listen to a broker?
Yeah, I also do.
So you've all got a broker. How did you find a broker?
My accountant of many years put me onto this broker.
Same, exactly the same.
You know, I'm happy enough with my guy, but I respect it greatly. A lot of people some people I've come into contact with, and I'd say, listen, I've been burnt. You know, this guy's absolutely cost me a mozza.
My friends they've done all right from it, so that's why I tend to, have confidence in them.
The concerning thing is that all these financial advisors as such, no one knows.
No, they're saying they don't know that now.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're finally fessing up to it. I mean, I deal through a financial advisor as well. I mean, he hasn't in so few words, but he first knowing him was saying, oh yes, 10 years and yada yada yada. Well, he doesn't talk in terms of 10 years because basically he's not game enough.